Hi, I'm Lea Lyse Salvail, and this is a walkthrough of my research journal for Bleach Please, a podcast concept that explores the intersection of emotional storytelling and Gen Z's visual culture. The project began with a clear intent to create a podcast that feels more like a visual diary or zine. I knew early on that I didn't want a traditional studio format. I was interested in vulnerability, visual tone, and creating a space that feels both intimate and artistic. My aim for this journal was to build a deeply researched and strategically justified foundation, not just for aesthetics, but also for structure, tone, audience fit, and platform behavior. To understand where podcasting is going, I needed to explore where it came from. This timeline traces key transitions from early radio in the 1920s to the rise of podcasting in the 2000s, and now into a video-first, personality-driven era. I looked at how formats evolved, from scripted radio plays to unscripted content like Call Her Daddy. This confirmed that my concept sits at the intersection of visual intimacy and mood-based listening. The market landscape and Gen Z trends. This section was critical in validating my concept for Gen Z. I studied how Gen Z consume media, often multitasking, visually driven, and deeply invested in creators' personalities. I also examined challenges like oversaturation and the rise of video podcasting. All of this supported my decision to use short-form video for discovery and to design each episode with visual storytelling in mind. To ground a creative in critical theory, I focused on 5 models. Parasocial theory helped me explain how hosts become familiar friends. Uses and gratification theory showed me why people listen for connection, for mood regulation, and for entertainment. Reception theory and media convergence showed me how podcasts are now hybrid experiences, social, visual, and personal. These ideas validated choices around format, tone, and host's presence. I analyzed over 10 podcasts from Emma Chamberlain to Jay Shetty to Nymphet alumni. I compared formats, tones, duration, and visuals. This helped me understand what makes a podcast scalable and shareable. One key takeaway: authenticity and aesthetics beat celebrity. I used this to shape my concept, solo with occasional guests. I ran a 14-question survey with 30 Gen Z and millennial respondents. I found that most people prefer 30 to 45-minute episodes and listen while walking or doing chores. Very few people listened while doing nothing. Percent consume podcasts in both video and audio format, reinforcing my video-first approach. Their favorite topics were emotional life, identity, and career, which directly influenced my 4 editorial pillars. I looked into different recording setups: studio, outdoor, hybrid, and they geared up my work in a lo-fi but beautiful environment. Because even though I want to focus on atmosphere and stylish visuals, the quality has to be perfect. I also explored tools like Descript, Adobe Premiere Pro, and visual branding through magazine-style thumbnails. This project began with aesthetic ideals, but through structured research and audience feedback, my focus shifted towards clarity, quality, and purpose. I moved from a 20-minute format to a more effective 30 to 35-minute structure, backed by real listener preferences. I've also come to see podcasting as more than just a conversation. It's a crafted experience where sound, setting, and tone all contribute to trust and impact. Bleach Please will be shaped by this, not just emotionally resonant, but also well-produced and very intentional. As I move into production, I'm building from a place of critical reflection and real strategy, ready to create something meaningful, relevant, and distinct. This is just the start. Thank you for listening.